reason number two why Democrats are going to lose this election: crime. So what did the Young Turks do? We warned you about it. We told you like 6 months ago. Whoa, crime's a real issue before the Republicans even realized it. But you know why we realized it? Because the people realized it. Because we have a connection to our audience. We have a connection to real people. Working class people are saying crime's out of control, totally out of control. Cops won't show up in LA, in New York, in Seattle. They just won't show up. It just won't show up. Okay. And by the way, you don't have to, like, there's a bunch of reasons why that might be the case. And you should have held the cops accountable for not showing up. But what did the Democrats do instead? Oh, it's the Young Turks' fault. How dare they talk about crime? No. If we just ignore it, I bet it won't be a problem. American Prospect has a story out today saying crime, massive issue. The second largest issue, actually in their polling, it was the number one issue. What did we tell you? We told you. And so every time we're right, they hate us more. So now they'll say, oh, you guys told us about crime being a huge political problem and an actual policy problem. You told us about that? Shoot the messenger. It's all the Young Turks' fault. It's all progressives' fault. It's all your fault, okay? If you just not told anybody, nobody would have found out how incompetent we are. And so they can't figure out how to run an election. So, okay, Democrats, what can you say about crime? They just couldn't figure it out. I don't know what to do about crime. First of all, you could try to fix it. I know. But my God, that you would have to work for your voters. That's never going to happen. I mean, they're Democrats. I mean, Republicans screw over their voters and actively hurt them. And Democrats look at them and just ignore them, brush them aside. Okay. So what you could have done is said, you know what Democrats or progressives are for? We're for justice. That's our number one issue, justice. We're for social justice, but we're also for economic justice. We're also for criminal justice. Criminal justice means two things. One is you treat everyone fairly. Don't go beat up black guys and Latinos for no goddamn reason. That isn't fair. That isn't just. On the other hand, you also shouldn't say, oh, don't do policing. Well, how about the working class guy who's going to work? Okay, here, let me give you an example from LA. I go to get my haircut at Supercuts. The window smashed in. I asked the hairdresser, hey, what happened? She's like, oh, well, we just stopped fixing the window. I said, why did you stop fixing it? What do you mean stopped fixing it? She said, oh, people come in every once in a while and just take whatever they want. And I said, what do you do when they just come in? Oh, we let them take it. Well, don't you call the cops? Oh, we call the cops. And what happens? They said they never come. And then people start realizing there's no law at all in LA because Garcetti's not a mayor. He funneled all the money to his donors and then he went on vacation for 2 years. Karen Bass ran an election saying everything's great. When they asked her in the first debate, how do you feel about safety? She said, I feel 10 out of 10. Perfectly safe in LA. Meanwhile, the working class is having bricks thrown through their windows, guys barging in and threatening their lives 24/7. I said, why is the window still broken? She said, well, we don't know how many times we have to fix it. And the cops never come. You have to do something about that. And then when you do something about that, you say, we Democrats are for justice. Justice for the working class. Justice for the average American. Justice for victims of crime. Oh, never heard of it. Didn't even think about it. Didn't even occur to them. So what happened? Giant issue number two, and Democrats are going to lose the election because they didn't talk about crime at all. We were right. Anna, again, by the way, for the 200th time in a row, Anna Kasparian said it first. And when she said it first, everyone piled on, how dare you? You are not a good leftist. You are hurting the feelings of activists. Their feelings have been hurt. They have an ideology that was set decades ago, and they refuse to change it based on facts. And you're also hurting the feelings of Democratic politicians. How dare you, Anna Kasparian? You are an impertinent young lady, okay? God damn it, hashtag Anna was right. She was right again. And then I jumped on that bandwagon, and then they piled on me. Well, now, again, I guarantee you after they lose the elections, instead of actually addressing the problem, both in policy and in politics, they will blame us. I've seen this movie 100 times. Guys, so I tell you this, final thing, because we've been right for 20 straight years on almost every issue. And every time we're right, they shoot the messenger and they never fix anything. So going all the way back to the Iraq War, we were on the air and we're like, don't vote for the Iraq War. It's a disaster. It is both a policy disaster, it's a moral disaster, but it's also going to be a political disaster. They're like, oh, you're hurting Hillary Clinton and John Kerry and Joe Biden who are going to vote yes on the Iraq war. They're geniuses. They're so smart. They're playing four-dimensional chess. You guys can't figure it out. Huh, what would you know, young Turks? The Iraq war is going to be great. We're with George W. Bush. How'd that work out for you, dumbasses? How'd that work out for you? We've been right on every issue and every time they shot the messenger. So, look, you're never going to get the Democratic leadership that is deeply 1,000% corrupt to change. You're never going to get deeply corrupt mainstream media to change. You just have to ignore them and tell everyone you know, do not listen to them. And guys, the Republicans are fascists. They're about to take over and destroy our democracy. But the mainstream media lets you think that there's only two options: corrupt and fascist Republicans or corrupt and incompetent Democrats. That's not true. You have another option. It's called primaries. I know the right wing doesn't care about this country, but if you think you care about it, right wingers, you can vote in your primaries too. But for us Democrats, you've got to vote in the primaries. What is the number one thing that the media tells? Don't vote in primaries. Only corporate Democrats can win. Only conservative Democrats can win. Only they can win. Primaries are not important. Don't go to vote in primaries. No, do not lie to that. Listen to them. They are liars. Go vote in primaries and vote on every incumbent Democrat. They've done nothing. They're all losers. They're incompetent. Yes, use your own judgment. Don't vote against just Democrats for no reason. But for most, unfortunately, 90% of the Democrats are corporate conservative stooges. And everyone would know that if we had an honest media in this country, but we don't.